Happy Wednesday night and welcome to Deep in the Plus. This is the show where we go deep into the Disney Plus catalog. We find a show or a movie to talk about and we just talk about it. It's going to be a lot of fun. If you haven't already, please subscribe to WDWNT TV for more great content and also give this video a thumbs up as it helps people to find us. Tonight, we're diving into the world of Descendants with our tween correspondent, Patrick Hackett.
Dude, you know what? It takes a lot for you to catch me off guard, but you got me on that one. If it's a musical, I'm in. Let's go.
I mean, am I wrong? I mean, we did Teen Beach Movie. We did all three of the High School Musicals.
Love two of them.
You did, and we did Alley Cat Strike. We've done a lot of DCOM-ish kind of stuff.
The greatest movie ever made. Yes.
I thought you said Brink was the greatest movie that was ever made.
No, that's that.
Oh, okay. All right, I see how that works. Well, my friend, thanks for being here with me. And, you know, Descendants is one of those things that I shouldn't know about.
Same, man. Same.
So I know why I know about it, because I think it was mostly, A, we love Disney. We kind of watch anything that's Disney. But B, my daughter was about the right age for Descendants when it came out. So I ask you, sir, what's your excuse?
You know what, man? I said it at the top. I really, really love musicals. Our coworker Ron did. Ron hasn't seen, and he did a whole bunch of musicals, and I was able to talk about Guys and Dolls. I adore movie musicals. So, and I also, if you didn't catch it, I love DCOMs. DCOMs came into my life at an early age, and they just been there. You know,
they just never stop.
Yeah.
You just never stop, never stopping. So, you know, Disney did High School
Plus? I'll cover that.
No. Disney did with Kenny Ortega did all the High School Musical movies. Kenny Ortega is like amazing. I mean, every video you've ever seen of him, he's a great coach. He's a great creative guy too. What were you gonna say?
Very, very, very good. I'm a big fan of the Blank Check podcast where they go over different directors' filmographies. And honestly, I'd love to see them take a crack at Kenny Ortega, because I've noticed just from what I've watched, he has some particular calling cards that he uses, even in very subtle dance moves.
Yeah. Today, as we are recording this, we are very shortly about to receive on Disney Plus a new Descendants called Descendants: The Rise of Red, coming July 12th. Probably by the time many of you see this will already be out. Including what also drops the same day is sing-along versions of all the rest of these movies. I honestly,
I don't need those. I know
because you know all the words. You know the words.
Do.
Honestly, when we sat down to watch this one, and it's almost 2 hours, which normally a DCOM's like an hour and a half because it had commercials.
Yeah.
This one's like 1:55.
It's an actual movie.
Yeah. This one came out in 2015. Can you believe that? It's almost a decade old. July
2 years after
31st.
I got married.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So then you guys just sat back and watched this when it came on, probably. But look, check out all this other like Descendants that's down here. So
this is.
I mean,
I don't know when you want to get into this, but there are some issues here, Rob.
With these movies.
The continuity, man.
Okay, so here's the thing that you need to know is I've only seen this one.
Whoa.
So anything that I say where I go, oh, this could never happen, and if you already know it happened in 2, I don't know. I didn't see that one. I did see this one, again, like I said, when it came out, and then it went through 3, and it's a big deal to the kids who grew up around this time. And then some of these songs they play at like the Halloween parties. So like Wicked World.
As they should, yeah.
I you know, it's just it's rotten to the core.
To the core.
We're gonna talk about the music too, because again, when I sat down,
I took good notes. Good notes.
All right. It was like an hour and 55 minutes, but I was actually surprised there wasn't more music in this one. By the way, I thought like High School Musical is like almost all music, and so this one I expected to have more than it actually did. But by the time we hit the halfway point, there's only like 2 songs.
6 songs. 6 songs total that I caught, and then the end credit song, which is atrocious.
Yep. Let me back up a second though and talk about the idea for this
Yeah.
Descendants is that it is a kingdom of all of the storybook stories that we know, but basically
Yep.
just the Disney ones. Uh,
Yes.
it's a salute to all nations, but mostly America. It's all of the Disney ones, and so all of these characters live together. And as we started talking about this behind the scenes, you and I and Stephanie and Desi started talking about the fact that like this is reminiscent of something else that ABC did called Once Upon a Time.
Once.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of similarities.
There is a lot of similarities, but this does not go nearly as off the rails as Once does. Once gets ridiculous, where multiple characters play multiple different people. It's very interesting, and maybe one day we'll get into that. Um, this is an interesting idea, which I feel like this is right around the time of the Kingdom Keepers books as well. I could be wrong on that time, but I think they're about the same. Where it's kind of like the tweens are taking over the
Kingdom.
kingdoms. But here's the thing: how did Beast unite all the kingdoms? So we start off with a very clever storybook that's actually a tablet. Well done. I thought that was really clever. And they just kind of breeze over that Beast unites the kingdoms and pushes all the villains off to the Isle of the Lost. But how?
Well, and
They got
why? I was gonna say why Beast?
I don't know. Belle's the smartest. He's the strongest. You know, you got the brains and brawn.
Yeah, that did seem like a weird pull.
Yeah, interesting.
But
I didn't put it together. I was just like, yeah,
yeah,
Beast did it.
but to your point, um, the 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 trope of the fairy tale book being turned into an
I loved it.
iPad instead of
Yeah,
just a book. Yeah, it's kind of telling you at this point. This is now. This is the present. They
yep,
talk about how
yep.
the all the villains were sent to this isle, and the isle has no Wi-Fi. So
Mm,
obviously, we're already discussing the fact this is happening in our time, right?
yes, yep.
So Beast makes the Isle of the Lost to put all the bad guys on, which sounds like Australia. And then he goes over here, the history of Australia, not current day Australia.
I
Sorry.
got you.
Yeah.
I picked
All
up what you
right.
were putting down.
Okay. Just making sure. It's history. I'm not making a crack at Australia. So anyway, but it's very similar, right? The same kind of a
Yeah,
situation. Hey, we'll
yeah.
send people to the Isle of the Lost, and so then he puts this like big magic bubble around it that they can't get out, they can't use magic, and apparently they don't get Wi-Fi. Um, and then he makes this kingdom of Auradon, which is like this utopia of all of the other characters. And so you have, Beast and Belle and Snow White and Cinderella, and they're all grown up and they have kids. And so the story is about
Yep.
their descendants. And they go to this big prep school together. And it's like, okay, I get it. But it's so funny to me that that as they're like meeting each other, like when you're in college and you're at a
Yeah.
party, you're like, hey, where are you from and what's your major? In
Yeah.
this,
Yeah.
it's like, hey, who's your mom and dad? Like that's
Yep.
like their defining thing. It's like, hey, like Doug. Like it's like, hey, hi, I'm Doug.
But
My dad's dopey.
yeah, but they don't really inherit the traits of their folks. I think Ben is the one who really gets the most of his parents out of anybody, but everybody else is a little bit different.
Okay.
Is that Tim Gunn?
No, I don't think it's Tim Gunn. No.
It looks
Uh,
like Tim Gunn.
It's not Tim Gunn, dude. It is not. I swear it's not. I promise you it's not. I don't know that I love this choice for the king though. And I don't think they don't call him Adam in this, right? Cuz Adam it's there's
Because it's
a
not
point of
his name.
contention.
Are you serious?
There's a
We're gonna
point of
do this?
contention about that. No, 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 we're not going to do this.
All
So
right.
it's Belle and
I
Beast. So because it's Belle and Beast, their
Yep.
kid's name is Ben. So everybody in the
Yep.
kingdom
Ben Florian.
but if you're like Cinderella's kid,
Mm.
Chad. and Dopey's kid.
Chad and Chloe. Chloe is her daughter that will meet.
Yeah, I know you got into that because apparently that's in a later.
I fell down a rabbit hole of trying to figure that all out.
Yeah, you went off on that one. So then, we're introduced to them and Auradon, and then we come off to the Isle of the Lost, which, by the way, love that freaking logo.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, it's got live and then evil is backwards, but I think it took me a minute to realize that was evil. So long live evil, but it's like, looks like live, and it's got the shadow of Maleficent, and it's like, that's their logo. That's a killer logo. I like that a lot. Yeah, it is pretty dope.
Hold on. Why can't I think of his name right now?
Boo Boo Stewart.
Jay. Jay also has one of a similar nature. Yeah.
So when we are introduced now to the gang, there's a big scene, a big dance scene, and I got to tell you, this one is like, I love the song "Wicked World" / Rotten to the Core, and but I have some issues that I want to get to about it, but this musical number is it's parkour meets stomp meets thriller, because there's a definite thriller type dance
definitely
that they're
some
doing.
Thriller vibes there.
Meets Newsies. It's like they went in and they just dug in and they were like, let's just put it all into one huge number, and it is big.
Kenny Ortega loves like foot stomping and foot slapping. I've noticed that through all the Kenny Ortega movies I've watched. There's a lot of foot stomping. I took very copious notes, so if you see me looking down, I took a bunch of notes. That song is a bop, and man, it's really sad that we lost Cameron Boyce so soon in his life. That kid from Jump Street, you see that he is so talented and full of charisma. I know that the loss to his family is far more incomprehensible than his loss as a talent, but the kid has it, and he should have stuck with that platinum hair through the whole series. He changes it up, and that's the best look for him, I think.
Okay. Well, yeah, and with Cameron Boyce, again, he started on Jesse. We knew him from there, and then when he came on to this one, this was kind of like his big break with the rest of these guys. And you know what? On Jesse, he was a dancer and I think maybe a rapper. And so I think those two things he carries well. I don't think he's a great singer. Is that a hot take?
No, I don't think. Honestly, aside from the two that are incredibly talented singers, I don't think anybody's a very good singer. And Ben has been dubbed over multiple times in this series. But yeah, I don't think, aside from Sophia Carson and, oh my God, why can't I think
Dove Cameron.
Names are Dove Cameron. And Dove Cameron, if you haven't seen Schmigadoon, Dove Cameron kills in Schmigadoon. Kills. She is so good.
From now on, I will accept Dove Cameron, Mal, Liv, or Maddie, if those are any of the names you would like to call her throughout the rest of this. Any of those.
I see.
It's better in stereo.
The only Disney Channel show that I ever watched was Sweet Life of Zach and Cody. And like everything else, I was just like, I'm way too old for this. But there was something about the Sweet Life that just, man, I don't know. It felt like two kids doing Home Alone all the time.
Caleb Joshua Hill is in chat and said, "R.I.P. Cameron Boyce, miss him so much." Yeah. It was tragic, and I think it was an epileptic seizure.
Epileptic, yeah.
Yeah. Yep. That it was shocking when we heard that he had passed. Because other than, I don't know, it just always sad when somebody passes away, but yeah, it was tragic because it seemed like he was on a trajectory. And I mean,
he was down with the Sandman, the Sandman elevates many a career. Ask Rob Schneider.
Gotcha.
That's right.
All right.
Taking shots.
So then we meet their parents, the parents of these four VKs or villain kids. Kristen Chenoweth. Here's the problem I have with Kristen Chenoweth is she's freaking amazing. No.
Yeah.
No. Okay. No, she's freaking amazing, and you don't realize how far above them she is until they're together. Like she takes it to another level. There's a scene where we first meet her with the kids, and
Mm.
they're not great in that interaction, but she just kills it, and her voice is amazing.
Yeah.
And the fact that she was, Glinda the Good Witch in Wicked, and now here she is being the evil Maleficent with the green stare of death with her daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, nothing bad about her. Nothing bad about her. I'm
She is
just saying she's
chewing
better.
every piece of scenery she can find, and she looks like she's having the time of her life. I imagine that she is too expensive, and that's why she got turned into a lizard. Spoilers for a 10-year-old movie.
Kathy Najimy plays Evil Queen,
Yes.
which I still think it's funny that she's the one that doesn't have a name. Her name is Evil Queen, and again,
And
the
referred to
matchup,
as such.
right? But the matchup of the names, because her daughter is Evie, so
Yeah.
Evil, Evie,
Yeah.
and then you've got Carlos and Cruella, and then you've got Jafar and Jay, and then Maleficent and Mal. So I guess both of them decided to take like the first part of their names and give it to their kids.
Yeah.
Um,
I did
Yeah.
say in my notes about Kristen Chenoweth, she is a better Maleficent than Jolie. Yeah, 100%. Mm-hmm.
okay,
Stamping
I'm
it.
not. I'm not agreeing with that. But what I will tell you is, she's perfect for this.
Yes.
But also, this bunks what we know in the Maleficent movies about her being a fairy and the horns being real and all that, because her
Mm.
daughter is not. Now, I don't know the other parents, but it's interesting to me that all four of them are single
Oh!
parents.
Oh, you don't know. We do
That's what I'm
know
saying.
who's Mal's. We do know who Mal's dad is.
That's Hades.
Yes.
Okay, that I know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but again, the way they introduce them here is they're just like parent and child. So
Yeah.
that's a weird thing. Also, that they as villains would procreate in captivity. I don't know. Little bit of a loose thread there. Also, why do they keep everything in the refrigerator? Why is her spell book in the freezer?
I don't know, man. You pick up on the weirdest things, dude. I
don't
got
know.
nothing for you.
I do love that Cruella has taught her son to be afraid of dogs. Like
Yeah,
teaching
it's pretty great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
teaching him that they are the most fearsome beasts that have ever walked the planet, and he needs to stay away from them because apparently this is not the Isle of Dogs. There are no dogs on this island. There are no cats in America, and so he is introduced to them, which is a whole bit that they have with
It's
Carlos
great.
once he gets
It's
over
really great.
to Auradon. So the way that this works is that Ben, the son of Belle and Beast, not Belle and Beast, is going to be he's having a coronation. I don't know, is he supposed to be becoming king? Because usually that
No,
happens
he's supposed to be
when the
becoming
king
king.
is
Beast
infirmed
is
or
abdicating
something.
the throne to him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
weird. So
Yeah,
one
real
of his
weird.
first
He's
first
like
acts.
15.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. Well, son, it's time. We're off to Barbados. Take care.
Barbadon.
Yeah, it's it's weird. So they are like, hey, we're gonna go ahead and make you king. And he's like, my first proclamation is I'm going to get the kids out of the Isle of the Lost, and I want to take the four worst ones, or the ones
Yeah.
from the four worst villains, and bring them over
Yep.
here. And everybody's like, oh,
Yep.
no, you can't do that. And he's like, I'm going to be king. I'm going to do it. So they send a limo.
That's nice.
Yeah, yeah. And I guess nobody's ever seen a limo, but it's really kind of weird that they would send a limo because they have the magic to make a bridge for the limo to go over. You would think there'd be something else that was possible there. But anyway, they send a limo. Nice of them to do. It's full of candy. There's fights. There's stealing. And they go over to Auradon to be a part of this exchange student option where he's like, hey, their parents were bad. That doesn't mean they're bad. I'd like to give them a chance. Let's bring them over here. Let's put them in Auradon prep. And
I mean, it's a whole nature versus nurture. I mean, I wrote this movie. I think is saying more than it means to. It's kind of like a dumb kids rom-com musical, but it makes some salient points about the whole nature versus nurture argument, and you are not the exact copy of your parents, and these kids make some choices in the end. It's very interesting. I think it's a better movie than I thought it actually was.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and a longer one than you probably thought it actually was.
Rob, it didn't bother me.
Really? Okay, that's fine.
Did not bother me. Yep.
So they're leaving their island on a magic bridge that the limo can drive over, and then they head toward Auradon. I think. Am I saying that right?
You are not. It is Auradon.
Auradon. It's A-U-R?
A-U-R-A-D-O-N. Auradon.
Auradon. Where would that name have come from?
It feels like Aurora, but I don't know. The castle doesn't look like any of the castles. It doesn't even look like an amalgamation of a bunch of them either. It's just
Are you serious?
I didn't think it looked like any. No,
I thought it looked like Cinderella's. Serious? I thought it looked like Cinderella's castle. Like the one from the Magic Kingdom?
From there, yeah. Okay, I see it from there. The up close shots, I mean, that's very clear. Cinderella Castle, yeah.
Yeah. Like it looks like they legitimately picked it up before it was painted salmon, and they just plopped it there. So,
I think I was talking more about like the up close shots, but yeah.
Okay, sorry, but yeah, because that's the first thing I noticed when they show the castle is going, hey, wait a minute, that looks like Cinderella's castle. Auradon Prep though, do we ever really see the castle? Did I say it wrong again?
We do a couple times. We don't get another wide, I think, from there, maybe towards the end, but we see like a couple like exterior. It's actually, some of them are of the same building that's the Xavier School for Gifted Children.
Yes, that's exactly what I was about to say. What I was about to say.
It is,
because when the inside looks exactly like
and there's another connection being that Jay plays Warpath in Days of Future Past.
You mean Boo Boo Stewart?
Boo Boo Stewart, yes.
Should we talk about why his parents named him Boo Boo?
No, that's their choice.
Cool. Yeah.
He's also whatchamacallit? He's a werewolf, right? In Twilight?
Oh, in the Twilight movies? Probably. Here's the thing that I do respect about continuity is that they keep Carlos with the chocolate on his face.
On his face?
And they could have easily had that he wiped it off or he moved on, but they keep it on his face through
that picture right there. The mean girl off between Mal and Audrey is fantastic. It's really good.
Oh, when the two of them. Well, let me ask you about that too. It feels like a lot of the kids from this perfect land where goodness rules are a little mean. Chad is a little mean. I mean,
Rob, I went to a prep school. That is an accurate description of what it's like to be at a prep school.
But again, this is supposed to be the land of the good and the nice and the wonderful, and these guys, they're mean girls.
Yeah.
That
even Alani, who can be really wonderful at times, has some really mean moments.
I do like the statue of the Beast that turns into the Beast. I thought that was cute, and of course, Cameron Boyce has a little bit of a moment where he jumps into Boo Boo's arms when it changes because he's afraid of it. Looks like a dog or whatever. So that was kind of cute. I wonder where that statue lives.
I think it's all CGI. This is some of the worst CGI I've seen, and we've seen some bad CGI in DComs, but this is up there. And that
stuff
dragon
at the end with the dragon looks like they lost money on that scene, especially when they chasing Jay around in circles.
It took like 2,000 hours to animate it. It was crazy, and it looks like trash. I mean, this is 2015. We're not talking, millennia ago. There's no reason except for cost that you should be using CG that cheap, and it looks bad.
Yeah. Wait a minute. So anyway, I think that as this is going on, though, Mal has been sent by her mom to get the sword, the wand of the fairy
The
godmother.
MacGuffin. Yeah.
And so she's going to get the wand of fairy godmother, and that's
Their
what she's destined
first
to do.
night.
And she's
Their first
evil.
night, they go for a heist. Like, what amateur nonsense is that? Their
They
parents
don't want
had
to
to
be
tell them
there.
better. Do some recon
They don't
though.
want to play a
Like,
long con. They want to get this done, man.
it was a bad move. Bad move. It just feels like your parents are these villains, these really real serious. I mean, Maleficent played the long game for 16 years, and her daughter's just like, yeah, let me go break into this without knowing anything. Come on, come on.
Okay, all right, sorry. But so they break into the museum where Evie's mirror has told her the wand is. They break into the museum, and once they break into the museum and they look around, there's all of these items from
Yeah.
every fairy tale sitting in this
Yep.
museum under guarded lock and key. And the guard, speaking of challenging acting jobs, the guard doesn't seem to be doing a great acting job. He's like
No.
leaning in, looking at each
Yep.
screen real close, like that his job is to, sit there on a swivel and look at each screen. Okay, that one's there. Okay, that one's there. Okay, that, like, you know what I'm saying? Like okay, there's that.
Yeah.
So we have the trident and the rose and the glass slipper and all of these little
A little bit from
little
the Black
story
Cauldron
pieces.
too, right?
Yeah. Is there?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay. Well, we have
I'm just going
Maleficent's
off of
spinning wheel in there, and we have the rose from Beauty and the Beast.
which,
So
like, along with
interesting.
Odin in the Avengers series. Come on, man. Why are we keeping these things around? There's no need for them to be there.
Wait a minute. Is the worry that there are too many powerful items here?
Yeah. Yeah, there's some super powerful items there.
Okay. Well, we know one of them that is there is Fairy Godmother's wand, and they try to get it and set off some alarms. And like you said, they tried to pull the heist too early. But in this is where we get our second song of the first hour.
Yeah.
So the first one is the
Yep.
Rotten to the Core, and the second one where is this like fever dream where her mom's wax statue comes to life and talks to her and sings. What is your take on this song?
It's amazing.
It's very Broadway.
Incredible. It's very Broadway. Yeah. It's a lot of fun. It's one of my daughter's favorites.
Well, and when Mal starts singing, I think she did an amazing job when she started singing.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, again, Kristen Chenoweth comes in and steals the show. But I would say I like this song. It just doesn't feel like it fits with the rest of them.
I can see that because this is more of like a Broadway kind of ballady, and everything else is more modern. I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah, like a showstopper sort of a situation. But yeah, anyway, so they go to, they decide, well, we blew that. Now we're going to have to go to class. Like, see, that was the thing I was talking about is they wanted to get in and out and not have to deal with anything. And so now they've got to go to school. I love the part where they're talking about, like, your guys are going to be taking goodness 101. And Mal goes, new class? Like, they just add that one? Interesting. Interesting. So they add this class, and only the 4 of them are in there taking this class from Fairy Godmother. And they have textbooks. Where'd they get textbooks? I don't understand how quickly that happened. But again, Fairy Godmother.
You don't know about the textbook hustle, man. I mean, there's people, they'll sell you those in a minute.
You know, what is also interesting about this is that there's not a lot of magic being used here, and we know that there's a lot of magical elements and objects, and we know that Fairy Godmother has magic.
And we learn that the lake is enchanted too,
which makes it seem a little like Onward, where they kind of like used magic but then forgot magic.
I don't think that's it. I think it's almost considered like a weapon. And so, like, it's kept under lock and key in the museum and only brought out for special occasions and to, like, really drive home the point of Ben's coronation.
Was it Rumpelstiltskin who said magic comes with a price?
I believe
all magic comes with a price.
About right. Man, we're really gonna get into once, huh?
Maybe. So the fairy godmother is teaching, and welcome to remedial goodness is what it ends up being. And then I love that it's like these ridiculously easy questions, and Mal keeps answering them. They're like, "Wow, how do you answer that?" And she goes, "I just think of the one that's the least fun."
Hmm.
Mm, okay.
It's so
Uh,
good. This scene is cute and it's fun, and it gives the characters a little bit to do. You know.
yeah. So I have this question. They
Sure.
decide that the boys need to go and play this game.
Oh boy,
So
let's get into it.
what's the
Yeah.
name of the game?
Tourney.
See, tourney makes it sound like it's a tournament and not a
No, the
game.
game is
Like
tourney.
they're like we're gonna go hit the game. We're gonna go hit the tourney, but
We're gonna
tourney
go
is
play
the name of the
tourney.
game.
We're gonna
So
go out to the tourney
tourney
pitch. Mhm.
tourney I was about to say feels like lacrosse meets Quidditch.
It is much more close to Irish hurling,
Okay,
but I
go
have
off.
no idea what the rules of this game is, and when the Nerf guns come into play. It's like American Gladiator esque. Also, the rules are very loose, like throwing people. Yeah, the dragon fire, as they call it. I don't know. And why does the guy firing the cannon have a helmet, but other people on the pitch don't? But Jay's really good at it. He's also really good at fencing. We'll find out later on.
Yeah, okay. Uh, Also, I feel like it's interesting that the cheerleaders seem to be cheering for them at practice. The cheerleaders don't seem to be having their own practice. They seem to be cheering for them at practice.
Yeah, they shouldn't be doing that. They should be practicing on their stunts and their motions, making sure that they're crisp.
Yeah. Yes, of course. Um, but this gives us an opportunity to see like Jay in action, and
Yeah.
he's great at what he does. And anyway, so I was like, what are we calling this game? What is this? So,
It's tourney.
hmm, okay. So my next question is, and
Oh,
and
sure.
maybe I should know this, but on the shield here it says AP. Oh, Auradon
Auradon
prep.
prep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
withdrawn, withdrawn.
No.
Okay. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, there you go. So they're playing Quidditch. They got Quidditch colors and the whole deal. So that's clearly what they're doing there. And then Mal, decides to start playing the fairy godmother's daughter to be able to get access to the wand.
Yep.
And then along the way realizes that there's another way to get to the wand, and it's a love spell on our leading man Ben. Are you saying that he can't sing?
No, I don't think he can.
Okay,
He
so
got
it's kind
dubbed
of a
over.
Zac
Yeah.
Efron, Drew Lachey sort of a situation.
Yeah. But I mean, this kid is no Efron. Like, he is the weakest out of the entire cast in terms of talent, charisma. But he and Mal, like, they have visible chemistry from the first moment, which is more than I can say for Troy and Gabriella at times.
Well, what about the chemistry in chemistry class?
Yeah.
Is Doug overplaying the sad sack in this one?
I don't know. I like Doug. I think he's a good character. I think it was a nice addition. Um,
Well, and again, not only do they have their parents' first letter of their name, but they also wear their colors.
yeah. Yeah.
I like that's really an interesting touch. They really went all out to try to
Rob, they
make
want you to
this.
know who they are.
Yeah,
You're always
exactly.
so big about the rules and figuring everything out. They're telling you very clearly who these people are. In case you forget at any point in time, her name is Evie. She has a heart apple pendant, and don't lose track of her.
Okay. No, no, I won't lose track of her. So then, everybody's got their own little place now because Jay's on the tourney team, and Mal is using her magic to make all the girls' hair cool, and Evie is apparently making clothes for the entire group daily because they change clothes all the time, but they came with like small bags of small bags to the trip. So she's making clothes for him. And then how did Evie get into chemistry class? Like, because her mom's into
I mean,
potions?
it's probably just like a basic class.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah.
And then of course, we, you know, Carlos gets hangs out with the dog. Yeah. I did think this was weird, them like sneaking under the bleachers for him just to say, "Can you do my homework for me?" But yeah.
I hate that Chad.
Well, you're supposed to, dude. You're supposed to.
I know. He does a good job.
Yeah. So everybody is starting to feel at home here, which is then casting those seeds of doubt whether they'll stay villains or they won't stay villains.
The first one that you start to see is Evie, because it feels like she has no intention of coming back to the Isle. And I think that the evil queen is okay with that. Her plan is to snag her a prince. And then you see Jay. Jay starts to turn when he realizes, like, oh, I can do more than just, rough people up for loose change and steal stuff. And you start to see it slowly come together. And then, Carlos gets dude. And you start to see the things that challenge their own beliefs.
I get that. Let me back up on the fact that we're almost an hour into telling this story. And no.
Oh.
And this is there's only been 2 songs. That's the part that gets me. I felt like it should have been more of a musical. There's only been 2 songs. There was again, Rotten to the Core, and then there's the
when do we get to 3?
one. Yeah. After the hour passes, then we get the one where Ben sings his song to Mal.
Oh God, yes, the best song.
Yeah. Is that the best song?
I don't know, man. They're all good, but this is amazing.
Okay. They're not all good.
They are not all good. There is one very bad song that's sung by the actors and the bad closing credit song.
Oh, there are 2 bad songs.
Oh no.
No, dude.
Oh no, you're so wrong.
No, this Be Our Guest.
You're so wrong.
This Be Our Guest is trash.
It's so good.
Please, somebody in the chat agree with me that the
no one agree with Rob. That Be Our Guest is amazing.
Please agree with me that the Be Our Guest song is trash.
It's so
garbage.
good. It's
good.
Trash. You're
it's
out of your mind.
It's so bad.
Why don't you go listen to What's This? All right. What's This? A good song. That's why you can't
What's
tell.
This is a great song. This one is trash.
I'm not going to deny. How dare you? It's a very good song.
Again, you know what's funny is I was watching this with my wife, and she was halfway paying attention, and we were gotten to the Rotten to the Core, and she said, "You know what? Unpopular opinion. This music sucks." And I went, "What?" Like, I hardly ever hear her use that word or anything, but I was just like, yeah. But again, Rotten to the Core may be ingrained in my head as an awesome song because it feels like a hype song for every Halloween party, late party, or even like they play it at D23. It's just a hype song. So I feel like I get into that one. Amazingly Simple said Rob is wrong about
it's
that song.
Fun and stupid, man. It's great. Like, it's just silly and fun. None of those kids should be rapping. Not a one of them. Not a one of them. But I still love it.
So you love it in a kitschy way. You're not saying it's
I love it in a kitschy
great.
Way. No,
You're not saying
I don't
it's
think
truly great. You're saying it's in a kitschy way.
I enjoy it. Yeah, I enjoy it.
I feel like it's got a cringe factor that I was a little uncomfortable with. But okay. But I mean, it's been claimed. You asked the people to call me wrong, and they called me wrong.
Should do that more often.
I love these songs. Yeah, again, Rotten to the Core, I'm all about. So
did I mention it's fun? It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. If you guys haven't already, please give us a thumbs up. And tell a friend about Deep in the Plus. Come hang out.
Tell an enemy.
We're here. We're here every Wednesday night. And if you just pause for a second, these are some of the movies we've done recently. Stitch the movie, The Liberty Story. We're doing Descendants tonight. We're doing The Acolyte Season 1 next week, and then I think Patrick, you're coming back with me to do Wreck-It Ralph.
I am coming back to do another one of my favorites. I'm excited when I get to do good stuff other than bad stuff I pick for random reasons.
Normally I would have trivia. I have some trivia, but it's softballs. I feel like they're softballs.
I took a lot of notes on numbers. But let's see what we got.
Okay. So some real quick trivia, and again, if you guys are watching along, play along in the chat, play along at home. Just some stuff I noticed while I'm watching the movie and wanted to pitch out there. And again, I feel like these are softballs. I don't think this is hard. What's the name of the AP? Say the word again.
Auradon.
Auradon. What's the name of the Auradon Prep mascot? What is that team?
Hold on, I have this written down.
How is that not cheating?
Because I took notes. Because I'm tired of getting. I do believe they're the Fighting Knights.
They're the Knights. Yes. In the big game that Ben wins, what team are they playing?
The Sherwood Falcons.
I didn't think you were ready for the Falcons, but you got the Falcons. What's when they get to Auradon? What's on the back of Jay's vest?
It's Cobra with the "Long Live Evil" on his vest.
Yeah, the red Cobra. Yeah. When they're playing tourney, what is Jay's number? You said you studied numbers.
8.
What is Carlos's number?
101.
Cute. And what is
Ben is
Ben's
7.
number? There you go. All right.
7.
And
Chad was 23, I think.
And you mentioned the dog's name earlier.
Dude.
Yes. And at the coronation ceremony, what color was Dude's tie?
Oh, was it red?
It was.
Yeah.
It was.
It matches Carlos's.
In the opening and closing scenes, when the iPad opens and closes, what's sitting on the table next to the iPad?
Andrew just showed it to me.
Yes, I did.
Is it the apple? No. What is it?
I'm asking you.
I'm asking you to tell me.
It is purple and green nail polish.
Oh, wow.
It's literally like the only thing you can actually
Yeah.
make out on the table there. But yeah, it's there when it opens and when it closes at the end. Final question. When they take the carriage to the coronation, it's Ben and Mal are in the carriage together. It's an open carriage. She has a little box in her lap. How many horses are pulling that carriage?
2.
That is correct. Was that a guess?
Yeah. No.
That was a straight. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. There you go. That's it. Yeah. That's all.
All right. That's not bad.
You like the misdirect? I thought you maybe thought I was going to ask about the box, and then I went with the carriage.
I was like, the D Love spell cookies are in there. I was like, is the box purple? I feel like the box is purple.
Yeah. Let's talk. Thank you for doing that. I appreciate it. Hopefully you guys were playing along and got a little bit of fun out of that one. But Dawn agrees with me on Be Our Guest. There you go. So anyway, I think overall, like, again, this is a lot of fun. There are a couple of moments where they try to trick you. One of them is when the wand is stolen during the coronation and you see the hand reach in and grab it. Was that a good? Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Because I feel like that was, in rewatching it, I thought I remembered who it was who grabbed the wand.
Yeah.
But I didn't necessarily at first remember who it was, but I was like, did Mal turn? No, she didn't. So yeah, you have this was the other trivia question I was going to ask you, because I had built up to this and I totally dropped the ball because I didn't write it down.
Oh, yeah?
Was all of the kids have the first initial of their parents. Except for one.
Jane.
Yeah. Which she's the one that grabbed the wand. So,
yep.
It's just weird. I don't know why. Like, why would you do that?
Maybe the fairy godmother's real name starts with a J.
I thought that too. But yeah. Anyway, so there's that misdirect. There was the misdirect where Ben's eating the chocolate and then says, "Oh, are you waiting for the anti-love potion to kick in?" and she's like, wait, what? But it's almost like a cartoon double take that she does.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Were there any others? I feel like there was something else that was a misdirect, but I can't remember what it was.
I'm having a hard time thinking of it, but yeah, that whole when I jumped in the lake thing, I watched that with new eyes, and I'm thinking about it because does he act differently after he's in the lake? And he asks her if she loves him, and she says, I don't know what love is. She wants to know what love is, um, and he just kind of leaves it. So I feel like they do give you the hint that something changed there. Uh, I don't know if it was really well done, but I think the crumbs were at least there, and so I wasn't mad about that. But it seems like even from the beginning they have pretty good chemistry. You know, they're clicking, and you can see because it irritates Audrey pretty early on.
Right. Okay. There's that scene where, so basically Mal's trying to get now close to Ben so that she can get the fairy godmother's wand that comes out at the coronation. And if she's his girlfriend, she's right next to him when the wand comes out and she can grab it. But then as we see her change her tune and become more like sensitive and good and care about him, she doesn't necessarily want to do that anymore, and so she's having a crisis of faith that she knew when she came over for like without a doubt that she was evil and she was going to play them, and then now she's kind of on board with them and she chooses good. But in Jane's attempt to grab the wand, she somehow inadvertently does exactly the one thing that needed to happen.
Yeah.
You don't like that either.
I don't like that.
Okay.
I feel like it would have been better if we went double misdirect. Jane grabs it, Mal grabs it from her, opens the gate, and then when, sees her mom and the terror, then has the realization. The Deus Ex Machina there is kind of meh.
Yeah. Yeah, it just, I mean, again, the idea that that Jane accidentally did exactly what Maleficent had wanted Mal to do was of all the things that could happen, rather than like her turning, like Tiana into a toad. I don't know.
That's another way to take it too. Is she could have like had a hard time controlling it and created some chaos, but it's just like random blasts, and one of them takes down the barrier, which that barrier and it doesn't seem that great, to be honest. It comes and it goes. It's very much as strong or as weak as it is needed to be.
Who do you think? I guess Fairy Godmother made the barrier, probably.
That's my guess. Is Fairy Godmother made the barrier?
Yeah. I also find it interesting that they can look out their window and see the Isle of the Bad Guys from the castle.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, he could have put them further away,
Yeah. Yeah, and there's something though about again the choice for Beast. I don't love the choice for Beast. It's like I guess it because he's is it that he's tall? He just looks like I don't know. It just looks like
you wanted someone a little thicker. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like a football player would fill that out a little bit
maybe,
better.
Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had to buy the idea of different people playing, Cinderella. We don't see Cinderella in this one. We don't see Aurora in this one. But like different people playing Belle from, this movie or from Once Upon a Time. It's you get to see different people playing them. But maybe I've just not seen the guy playing the Beast in
No, I could see that.
Beast.
I could see that. Yeah.
Do you find yourself when you're watching this movie trying to figure out who everyone else is? Because I do too. It's like as I'm watching 100%. I'm like, whose kid is that? Well, who's it?
Yep.
And like the guard is that Doc or Grumpy? Like because he seems a little smaller in stature. Like I want to know who everybody is when I'm watching this.
Yep. Same.
So Maleficent shows up, and then for almost seemingly no reason whatsoever, she turns into a dragon.
Well, I think she was annoyed. And if you could turn into a dragon and you got annoyed, I don't know, I probably would. I couldn't be trusted to have the power to turn into a dragon. I would abuse that.
Okay. I would abuse that. And then the weird caveat that once Mal stares her down and does her little spell, that she turns into the size of the love in her heart, which is that of a salamander. Okay.
Yep. Listen, Rob, they had to end this some way. I think they got to the end of this movie like, we've got a couple good songs, we've had some fun scenes, we've had a little bit of character growth, and then
this is one of the scenes though where I'm looking at it and the CGI just looks bad.
Yeah, no, it looks real bad.
Yeah.
It looks real bad.
Yep. So Maleficent turns into a salamander, and yeah, what a cutie. And then they do what you do after any victory, right? Victory dance.
Okay.
Tell me why you have problems with this. Tell me. Talk to me.
All right.
Because according to you,
this song is awesome.
I don't like this.
This is a good song. Number one, this is a really good song. But like the kids reference the song with that oh, like we knew about this song prior. Like this is an existing song that we already knew was their celebratory song. I feel like we could have set that up somewhere else. But man, this is another. It's a bop. I mean, we didn't talk about the other bad song in there. The Mal's song to Ben when they're on their date. If only, is that what it's called?
Well, you mean, but it's the flashback song because she's having all these flashbacks to scenes we've already seen, which seems lazy. Just gonna put that out there. Although again, it's an hour and 55-minute decom, which again are normally about 90 minutes for commercial.
I don't know why though. You're right. Like the length did not bother me, but there is definitely stuff we could cut to trim this up a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anything. So when it ends with her saying, like, basically, you ain't seen nothing yet. Like, you know, basically, like, this is only the beginning, and there will be more. And then there were two other movies, the second and third. There were short stories. There was a cartoon, and now there's the new one that's coming out, The Rise of Red, which
prequel, side quest. I don't know what it is. Side quest.
It's a side quest. That's exactly what it is.
It's kind of like a side quest. No one else besides Uma, played by China Anne McClain, who China Anne McClain played a different character in the cartoons. But I don't think anybody else is coming back from the main four. Obviously one for, sad reasons. But if some of the adults came back, I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. My daughter's really looking forward to it. I need to find out what happened to Chad. Everything I read about this is Chad is Chloe Charming's older brother. Now, Rob, I don't like to define people by who their spouses are because, you are more than who you're married to. But do you know who the fairy godmother's married to?
Who?
Dipper Pines.
Oh, yeah?
It's Mrs. Dipper. Yeah.
Wow. Like in real life, she's married to Ritter?
In real life, yeah.
I did not know that. My favorite part about this trailer for The Rise of Red is Brandy as Cinderella, right?
It's awesome. It's really awesome.
What a great crossover from
what a great
Rodgers
pull.
and Hammersteins. Yeah.
Yep.
I think that is
well done them.
Yeah, and we didn't meet her in the original or in the
but we did meet her. No, not her mother. We met
Aurora's mother.
We met Aurora's mother,
which was an interesting way to approach that.
Yeah. That scene's tough. Like it's legitimately a hard scene to watch because you're not the sins of your parents, but what her mom did is pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're right.
And
It
then
is a hard scene to watch, and it makes it very dramatic and very real. This is supposed to be listed as Descendants as a coming of age
mhm,
fantasy, and so
I can
it's
see that.
not
Yeah,
just
that
it's
seems
not just
the
just the
right.
comedy. Yeah,
Yeah, there's a little comedy. I think it's a really well done movie, but in talking to you, as often happens when we have these conversations, is there's
uh
definitely
oh,
some stuff they could have cut. They
yeah.
could have cut out of this to make it a little tighter. But I do think the movie says more than it's trying to. I don't think it's quite the color of friendship in terms of decoms with a message, but I think it does, discuss some of the things that are still pertinent in this world today.
As the Harry Potter movies go through, they get darker.
Yeah.
I feel like we see that too a little bit of Descendants here by the time we hit Descendants 3.
Mm,
No?
I think the stakes get a little bit higher. I don't know if I would say it's darker. I think in terms of like, I don't know. This one seems to be the most serious, as oftentimes can be, because you don't know if you're going to get a sequel. And so you make probably the better movie. Um, I don't know if it gets darker. I mean, they grow up a little bit. We deal with more grown up problems. Evie buys a castle.
Nice.
Yeah,
Well, there you go.
yeah,
Okay. Well, I think that we've covered it all. The only thing I would
yeah,
say otherwise is cast wise. The only one we really didn't talk about that was of note, I think, is Kathy Najimy, who had a very small role in this one, but I
yeah,
think, she still played the part well. I
yeah,
think Sophia Carson and Dove Cameron are great. I think that
yeah,
those are two that Disney had kind of groomed from the beginning to be the next Selena Gomez and Miley Cyrus.
yep.
And I don't know that Sophia Carson ever caught that way. Obviously, Dove Cameron's had a pretty big music career outside of
Sophia
Disney.
Carson's had a halfway decent music career. I mean, she came back, did the Muppets.
Hmm.
Um, I think Sophia Carson's music is a little less mainstream, and I think Duff Cameron stayed a little more prevalent. Pardon me, in
Relevant?
acting. And like I said, Schmigadoon, she is just fantastic,
Okay.
and I high
Um,
recommend for that. Not on Disney Plus, but go watch that. It's really good.
okay. All right. So before we give final thoughts, I want to thank everybody for being with us here tonight. We love it when you
Thank
guys
you.
hang out with us and see you guys hanging out in the chat. We appreciate you. Hopefully,
Yeah,
everybody's excited for the Rise of Red. I'm glad we could
I
time
don't know
this
if I
around the
am.
same. I'm glad we could time this around the same time, though, at least to talk about it. And maybe,
Mm-hmm.
maybe you'll come back and we'll do Descendants too.
I love being a
We love a good tween.
correspondent for.
Yeah.
I do. Let's not say that. Maybe edit that out of the show, Rob.
Okay.
Good
You
God
love a good
Almighty.
tween movie?
Movie. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's watch our words
Good.
a little more carefully before somebody catches the
Good
case.
golly. I meant a tween movie, is what I meant to say.
Yeah.
Anyway, I
Yeah. I
appreciate you
love a
being the
series.
correspondent for series. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, let's get
Herbie and
another Herbie in
Mars
soon.
and
I
any
I
of
need
those.
some love bugs in my life.
There's only one Herbie left, dude. You've done the rest of them. There's
No!
only one. Rides again. That's it.
Bananas.
Some no,
Bananas.
we did Bananas. We did Monte
Oh.
Carlo. We did Fully Loaded. We did the Love Bug. The only one we didn't do, other than the Bruce Campbell one, which is not on here, Bob Iger. Why don't you put every piece of content you have on Disney Plus? The 1990s Bruce Campbell Love Bug is not on here, but the only one we haven't done, we skipped number 2, the Ken Berry one. We just skipped it. We just went, no, number 2, nah, let's go to number 5, and then we'll come back to number 3, and then hit number 4. And we never, it's like the machete order of Star Wars. We just didn't do number
Nice.
2. So we need to come back and we need to do that one
We
at some
should
point.
make our own order for Love Bug
For
viewing.
Herbie's?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you don't want to ruin Herbie for yourself, here's the order you watch him in. But again, next week on Deep in the Plus, we'll be doing the Acolyte. We have Nick and hopefully Nick and Ron and Desi coming on to talk about the series. It ends next Tuesday, so
Great
it'll be good
series.
timing for us to watch
Great,
the
great
series,
series.
and talk about it.
Yeah.
And then you're coming back for Wreck-It Ralph. That'll be fun. And then don't forget we have Park Center on Sunday night. If you missed last week's, Patrick was on Spit and Truce, so come and watch.
Spit hot
And then
fire.
we will also have another one this coming Sunday to talk about the Bears. Big news from the Bears that came. Big news, bad news Bears, big news Bears. Anyway,
big news Bears.
There's
Bears.
Yeah. Dawn said Machete Herbie. Yep, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to talk about it. We're going to review the last one, and then we'll tell you the proper order to watch all the Herbie movies in. Yeah, exactly. But now, my friend, here it is. Oh, one last thing. I want to give a shout-out to the Wigs. We always shout out to the Wigs. We love the Wigs, the WDWNT Interglobe Society. Thank you guys for being members of the family. If you want more information on the Wigs program, go to patreon.com/WDWNT. You get post shows and fast track to tickets and all that kind of stuff. So go check it out. And with that, again, my friend, here we are. Mm-hmm. We've reviewed this movie. We've talked about it from top to bottom. We've talked about the music. We've battled about the music a little bit. But my question to you, and the question that these fine people who have been sitting with us need answered, is: would you stake your reputation, and would you recommend this movie?
I mean, I don't know what you've done to my reputation earlier a few minutes ago, but what's left of it, I will 100% stake to go watch Descendants. If you are watching WWNT TV here on YouTube, whether you're watching this live or you're going to pick it up later, this is in your wheelhouse. If you don't like musicals, then don't watch it, because as much as Rob says it's still a musical, not a lot, but go watch this. Decide after if you want to watch the other ones, or maybe check out Red and see if that wants to get you into Auradon. But I really love this movie. One of the first movies I introduced my daughter when we start letting her watch more TV. So it means a lot to me, and she loves it.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to say I would as well. I would recommend it. I watched this. My daughter, who was the one I watched it with the first time, 9 years later was like, nah, I'm not going to watch it with you. But I think it's a well done movie. I love anything that Kenny Ortega does. There's something that's just super uplifting about that kind of stuff. And I feel like as Disney fans, that's the kind of stuff we love. We love those storybook endings and the music and the dancing and all that kind of stuff. And like you said, if you like a musical, this is a musical. I just think there should have been a little bit more music to make it a musical, just because of they set the bar with that in High School Musical. There's a lot of there's a lot of bops in High School Musical that you carry with you, but I think this is another good movie to sit down and watch. And obviously it was good enough that it spawned several sequels, including The Rise of Red that is coming out, and some other content too. Anytime it's got its own section on Disney Plus, you know that it was something big. Like there's a whole Herbie collection, there's a whole Muppets collection. So give this one a try, check it out, and then if you like it, maybe we'll move into the others, and maybe we'll review this one, the sequel, at some other given time. But Patrick, thank you for doing this with me, my friend. I appreciate you. Any last words before we move out of here?
Rob, I'm rotten.
Are you rotten to the core?
To the core.
To the core. Y'all have a great week.